Hey YouTube, it's Joller Coaster. I'm back here with another video. I haven't been making too many videos, but I've been sort of busy just working and stuff. And if I'm not making videos, I'm doing something. I'm researching, I'm studying. So I've been doing a lot of research. I've been doing a lot of learning, but also I've had this crazy intuition. And that's what we're gonna talk about in this video, because I just recently saw this movie, Leave the World Behind. And basically I just wanna pose a question to everyone watching. And I guarantee you, 99% of you, after watching this video, you're gonna be like, oh crap. Like you're gonna start preparing. But I have one simple question, which I believe 99% of you will be completely lost. You'll be completely unprepared, and you'll be completely like shocked when you hear this or whatever. If all electricity went out tomorrow, what would you do? I guarantee you, like I said, 99% of you have no idea what to do. That's including myself. So that's why I've been wanting to get extra prepared, because I was watching this movie, Leave the World Behind, and it's one of those scenarios where it's like it's a power grid shutdown. It's a cyber attack. So all the electricity's out. And then you start questioning, you're like, okay, well, what if that happened in real life? And the crazy thing is, I think it's going to happen. I made a prediction. Donald Trump is going to win presidency. He's going to beat Joe Biden. But within 2 years of his presidency, there's going to be a cyber attack. There's going to be a power grid shutdown. Now, do I have inside scoop knowledge? Am I like a prophet of God or something? No, that's just the feeling, the intuition, the discernment that I've been feeling, and the need for readiness, the preparation, the need to be prepared for this. Because, dude, if this happened, there's no cell phones, there's no Google, there's no internet, there's nothing. Imagine all the electrical grid gets shut down via a hack, via a war attack, via the own government doing it, whatever. The point is, you need to be prepared. I need to be prepared. This is the wake-up call. This is the warning. Now, people could call me crazy. They could be like, oh, that's a conspiracy, but that's another thing. I've been researching a bunch of conspiracies. It turns out a bunch of them are true. So, conspiracy theory, that's just a word thrown around to produce propaganda and to gaslight. Because if you say, oh, was it a conspiracy theory that this happened? And people will be like, oh, well, no, that really happened. Well, back then, they used to call it a conspiracy. So everything that seems like it's unrealistic or whatever is called a conspiracy theory until it's proven true. You know what else? I myself said this. People were calling me crazy because I called COVID before it even happened. I was like, this is going to be one of the biggest life-changing events ever. This was like before there was even like 8 cases in the US. So because I noticed that, because I went on my Facebook and I realized I called it exactly correct. I was like, millions are going to end up having this. Like, it's going to be the biggest event of our lives. And I was 100% correct. So I'm calling this very same thing with the power grid shutdown. Like, I just think it's going to happen. But also, oh, that's what I was going to mention. Another thing they call conspiracy. You know what they call conspiracy? Because I called COVID, I said, oh, they're going to, once the vaccine comes out, they're going to force it. I said, oh, I was suspicious. I was like, dude, I don't know about, like, this thing just came out. We don't even know what's in it. Like, but I think regardless of what's in it, regardless of if you want to take it or not, I think they're literally going to force people to take it. It's going to be mandated. And people were saying, no, that's crazy. That's a conspiracy. They're not going to force people to take the jab. That's a conspiracy. Well, what happened? Exactly that. People were literally forced to take it. If they did not take it, they lost their whole entire job. They lost their whole entire business. They lost everything. So I think it's another one of those situations. Regardless if you think, oh, there's going to be another like disease, another type of virus, whatever. I'm not even as concerned about that as I am of an electrical power grid shut down. Do you not understand how detrimental that would be? And in the movie Leave the World Behind, there's so much like predictive programming in these movies. That's what else I've noticed. I just watched iRobot. Dude, I got terrified. I was like, dude, this is like, we're literally leaning towards that same exact thing, because in the movie, the main character was seen as the crazy conspiracy theorist guy. And he was saying, no, these robots, like, they're going rogue. Like, you don't understand. Like, it's the robots. And everybody was looking at him as the crazy conspiracy guy. So that's more predictive programming. They try and program you and brainwash you into thinking conspiracy theorists are like the crazy ones. In reality, they're just the prepared ones. They're ahead of the curve. But mainstream society, they're distracted by sports, by their job, even 9 to 5. See, me, I have a unique situation where, one, I made a lot of money. So during that lot of money, I was able to do a lot of research because I wasn't working 9 to 5. And even now, I still don't work 9 to 5. Now, I am working a lot, like doing this gig work job that I don't really want to do. But that's only because I'm waiting to get more money. Once I get more money, I'll be able to be even more ahead of the curve. Because when you're not distracted or busy with a 9 to 5 pointless work, pointless job, you can then research other things. And when you have an incredibly open mind and unbiased approach to research, I feel like you can come to the truth. And the absolute truth is Jesus Christ. That's why I've been drawn so closer to him. And that ties into all of this also. There will be large Christian persecution. But I want to focus on the fact, just the simple fact of, in the movie, one of the lines he said was literally, I am a useless man without my cell phone. I'm useless. And that made me think, dude, that applies to 95% of people. 95, 99%, whatever you want to call it. A high majority of people are in no way, shape, or form prepared for something like this. So I'm simply spreading the message of be prepared. Because whether it's a power grid shutdown, whether it's a disease, whatever, you want to have supplies stored up in case something does go down. I think something is going to go down. Why? Because all these elites are talking about it. They don't talk about something that's not going to happen. In fact, they feel like they remove guilt from themselves if they talk about it. If they talk about it, their belief is, oh, well, we told you ahead of time. So it's your fault for not listening. It's your fault for not being prepared. It's your fault for being stupid or naive. It's your fault, not ours, because we told you ahead of time in the movies you watch, in the magazines, in the newspapers, in the TV programming. Isn't that funny? Television programming. Well, tune into the programming. They even call it programming. They're programming you. It's brainwashing you. So it's just crazy. And, I don't really want to dive into these type of topics too much because that's how you get removed. Dude, there's a YouTuber I follow. He has to make different accounts because they keep banning him. And he's not saying anything hateful. He's not saying anything bad at all. He's literally just exposing certain things. So if he's exposing certain things and constantly getting banned and censored, what does that tell you? They are unjustly banning him because he's exposing certain things. They're not banning him because he's violating the hate on the program or anything like that. They're banning him because he's telling the truth. And I don't want to become that same type of channel. So I'm going to focus on, things that I would think are not banned. Like, I didn't say anything too crazy here. I didn't really expose anyone. I don't know who is the elite. Like I said, I just know there is an elite. They're planning something. I believe one of those things they're planning could very well be a cyber attack power grid shutdown. If you lose your phone right now, how prepared are you? Because if the power grid shutdown happens and we lose all electricity, all power, guess what? Your AC no longer works. Your heating no longer works. Your cell phone no longer works. Your internet no longer works. The stores no longer, your refrigerator no longer works. Dude, if the power grid shutdown happened, it would be like the Stone Ages, except the significance is no one is accustomed to the Stone Ages. We're all accustomed to the cell phone, myself included. So it's really been making me think, like, dude, I need to be prepared. I need to stash up some food, some water. I need to learn. That's mainly the thing, because you could give a man a fish and you could feed him once. But if you teach a man how to fish, you can feed him for a lifetime. So I don't want some little stack of food that's gonna last me a couple days. I want to learn how to naturally produce food, grow crops, fruits, vegetables, all that, so that if something were to happen, and we're talking 6 months electrical grid shutdown or something like that, I'll be okay because I'm prepared with the knowledge that I learned before this crazy event happens. Because as of now, it's like, dude, I Google everything. And even Google's a little bit compromised, or a little bit of biased propaganda. So I do even deeper research with different sources, Twitter and even deeper sources. But the point is, you have none of that. Let's say tomorrow it shuts down. What would you do? Are you useless without your cell phone? I would say a high majority of people are. Why? Because they've been conditioned and programmed to rely on their cell phone for everything. So if you've been conditioned and programmed to rely on your cell phone for everything, that means you're probably relying on autocorrect. I've noticed that. I can't even, a lot of words, I'm like, how do you spell this word? Like, because it just does autocorrect everything. It's the same thing with Face ID. I don't even remember passwords anymore because you just rely on the Face ID. So it's all programming. They're all conditioning you into being reliant on this little stick device. If this power goes out on this phone, it's a little black box that's 100% useless. That could very well happen when a power grid shutdown occurs, to where we don't have any internet, no electricity, no power. The food supply would get destroyed because you need food to be cold. If you don't have a refrigerator working, you can't keep the food cold. All these businesses, they go out of business because they need power to operate. This would be apocalyptic and disastrous and terrifying if you're not at all prepared. Even if you're somewhat prepared, it's better, but I need to start researching. I am going to start acting like this year's the last year. Like, I'm going to live this year like it's the last year of humanity, in preparation for something crazy happening next year or the year after. Because I very well think, I made 2 predictions. The primary one was that Trump will beat Biden in the election this year, and within 2 years there'll be a cyber attack. Or, this is my other crazy, this is all just random predictions. But the power grid shutdown is like a strong discernment. Like, I just feel like that's going to happen. I really hope it doesn't, obviously, but it's better to be safe than sorry. It's better to be prepared than unprepared. But I also think, like, somebody's going to win by just a tiny bit, and they're going to do a recount, and then the other person's going to win. And then there's going to be a civil war. So There's either going to be a power grid shutdown or a civil war. Something like that's happening. None of this is like official, like, this is just a random guy talking. Please, YouTube, don't take this video down, or like, don't like give me a strike or nothing, because this is just me talking. Like, can we at least talk, like, without getting censored? But yeah, I think something crazy is going to happen, and it is simply best to be prepared and not unprepared. Because think about it. Just put yourself in the situation that tomorrow when you wake up, all power is gone. All. What would that do to society? It would turn into apocalyptic within a week. People will start looting and going crazy. But if you're prepared, you can survive. And that's all my message is today, is think about how useless you are without a cell phone. And then apply a power grid shutdown happening in real life tomorrow, and have the sense of urgency to be prepared. That's all I'm saying. I'm trying to warn you to be prepared. Not from a position of, oh, I know objectively what's going to happen, just from a proactive position to be prepared. It is better to be proactive than reactive. Now, I'm going to trust Christ through this whole process, but even with the Bible and with God, faith without works is dead. You need both faith and works. You don't need works to receive salvation, because that's works-based salvation. You can't work for your salvation. Your salvation is based solely on faith alone, but your works is what showcases how strong your faith is. And also, it's just common sense. You need to actually physically be prepared, in addition to trusting God. And I think that's the best formula. Stay close to God, trust God, pray to God, in addition to being physically prepared and knowledgeable about how to grow crops, how to be prepared if there was a power grid shutdown. So yeah, that's my message today. Like I said, I'm not a fortune teller. I'm not a prophet. This is simply just discernment, my intuition, and just this urge of wanting to be prepared. So I think everybody should be like that. But yeah, stay tuned. I'll have more videos. I'm gonna go work now. But yeah, I might actually go stock up, man. I'm gonna start stocking up. But really, like I said, it's better to learn how to fish than to give a man a fish. Like if you stock up even for 1 week, what happens when the week goes by? So that's why it's even better and smarter to be able to produce your own food and crops and whatever. And another thing I've realized is there's wells. I'm delivering to some of these houses out in the country, which is where I really want to buy a house. I want to get as far away from the cities as possible. That's been another desire of mine. To when I get real estate, I want land, dude. I want something out in the country, away from like the city. But I've delivered some of those, and they have wells, so they even have their own water. They're getting naturally from the earth. So it's like, I'm just getting different ideas, but I absolutely have to do more research. I guarantee majority of you watching this also have to, because most of us are not prepared for this. But yeah, thank you for watching. God bless you. Get prepared and stay prepared.